have reached Red Steele's Total Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing from Transformers Age of the Primes, Sideways. Transformers Age of the Primes Sideways. But before I get into the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, Tubo showing you with the figure and all the accessories inside. In the top corner, you have More Than Meets the Eye. Below that, you have the Autobot symbol. In the middle here, it says it takes 21 steps to transform him. And on the very bottom, you have an 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. Here inside the packaging, you have two beautiful illustrations of Sideways, both in his robot mode and in his jet mode. Across the bottom here, it says Transformers Age of the Prime. In the corner here, it says Sideways. Near the corner here, you have the Hasbro emblem. Then on the top of the packaging here, you have Sideways again. In this corner, this time, you have the Takara Tomy logo. The other side of the packaging here, on the very top, there's this cool profile shot of Sideways, and below that it says Transformers Age of the Prime. On the very bottom here again, it says Sideways. The other side of the packaging here, on the very top it says Till All Are One. In the middle here, a beautiful illustration of some of the Prime, and down here again you have Transformers Age of the Prime, and down here it says it is a deluxe class figure. Then on the back of the packaging here, in the top corner here it says Sideways. In the middle, you have all the figure's features, such as Sideways in his robot mode, Sideways in his jet mode, and over here it says it takes 21 steps to get there. Then you have a picture of Sideways with his Cyber Planet key. Then over here you have Transformers Cybertron, robot in disguise. Below that you have the More Than Meets the Eye authentic logo. Then in the corner here the Hasbro emblem. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Transformers Cybertron Sideways. Sideways was released July 15, 2025 with the suggested retail price of $24.97 and is available exclusively at Walmart. Sideways was released along with the other Transformer Age of the Prime Deluxe Class Transformer Cybertron figure, Exilion. Sideways is a Transformer Cybertron inspired figure that converts to his jet mode in 21 steps. His accessories include his swords, shield, Cyber Planet key, and instructions. Sideways stands 5.5 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Sideways from his robot mode all the way to his jet mode. But the first thing you always want to do before you transform any of your Transformers, you want to remove all their weapons and accessories. I'm going to take his swords here, I'm going to unpeg them, I'm going to put these off to the side. Do the same thing with the shield right here. I'm going to take his shield, unpeg that, put this off to the side. With the first of the transformation, you have Sideways chest piece right here. For this chest piece, you have a little hinge joint right there. You want to take this chest piece, you want to flip it open just like that. Step number 2, you have Sideways head right here. Below his head, you have this orange piece right there. It's on a hinge joint. You want to take that orange piece, you want to bring his head straight up just like that. So step number 3, you want to take Sideways' head now. You want to rotate it all the way around just like that. Then step number 4, you want to this hinge now, you want to bring it down and up just like that. Then step number 5, you want to take this whole piece now, you got another hinge joint right there, you want to bring it all the way down just like that. Then step number 6, you want to take this chest piece now and close it up just like that. Step number 7, you want to turn it sideways all the way around on his back here. You have these two wing pieces right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want these wing pieces, you want to flip them up just like that. Do that to that wing piece and flip it up just like that. So step number 8, you want to turn sideways around again. Get that chest piece right here. You got a hinge joint right back here. You want to take this chest piece, you want to bring it in just like that. So step number 9, another hinge joint right up here, and you want to go ahead and take that piece and flip it up just like that. Step number 10, you want to take Sideways now. You want to flip them over just like that. You have his arm pieces right here. You want to take his arm piece and rotate it all the way around just like that. Do that to the other side. You want to take this arm piece, and we're going to rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 11, where his bicep meets his shoulder, you have a swivel joint. You want to take this arm piece and rotate it all the way around, so his black peg is facing up just like that. Do that to the other side to this arm piece, rotate it all the way around, so that black peg is facing up just like that. So step number 12, you have sideways fists right there and right there, and they're also on swivel joints. You want to rotate it so the fists and the fingers are facing up and this back piece is facing down, the flat little black panel. Do that to the other side. Take this fist, rotate it so the fist is facing up and this back hand panel is facing down. So step number 13, inside the shoulder here you have a swivel joint right there and right there. You want to take the shoulder piece, rotate it in just like that. You want to do that to the other side too? Because in the middle here, you have a peg and a porthole. So you want to bring both shoulders together, both forearms together. You want to peg them all into place, just like that. So step number 14, you got this whole bottom assembly here. You got a hinge joint right there. You want to bring everything down and tab it into place, just like that. So step number 15, you want to turn sideways around on the bottom of his feet right here. He has like a couple of heel pieces right there and right there. There's a hinge joint right there and right there. You want these heel pieces and flip them right into the foot, just like that. Do that to the side of that heel piece and flip it right into the foot, just like that. So step number 16, we'll turn sideways now. You got his leg pieces right here. You want to bring him out and over, just like that. Do that to the side of that leg piece and bring it out and over, just like that. So step number 17, you got a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take this leg piece. You want to go ahead and bend it and kind of bring it in just like that. Do that to your side of that leg piece, bend it and bring it in just like that. So step number 18, get these backpack pieces right here. In the bottom of these backpack pieces, you have a little porthole right there and right there. Top of the leg right here, you have a couple tabs right there and right there. You want to do those leg pieces and tab right in that backpack piece just like that. You want to do that to the other side to that leg piece and tab it right into place just like that. So step number 19, you have sideways feet right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. Well, you have a porthole right here. You have a tab right there. You have that on both sides. You want to take that foot, you want to bring it in and tab it right to the side of the jet just like that. Do that to the other side, take that foot and tab it right into the jet just like that. Step number 20, you want to go and grab sideways his shield right here. Bottom of the shield right here, you have a couple portholes right there, and right there. On top of this jet, you have a couple tabs right there, and right there. You want to take the shield, you want to make sure all the tabs and portholes line up, and you want to go ahead and tab them right into place, just like that. Because in the 21st and final step, I want to go and grab sideways sword right here. Side of the sword, you have a little peg right there, and a little tab. You want to put it right into the backpack, just like that. Go and grab the other sword right here. You want to do the same thing to the other side. You have a little peg and tab. You want to go and peg it right into place. And now you have sideways in this full jet mode. Now that's sideways in this jet mode. And on my display table, so we'll go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, I talk about his Cyber Planet Keys. These Cyber Planet Keys were an accessory that were included with the original Transformers that were in the Transformers Cybertron toy line. And what these Cyber Planet Keys would do is, when you take these keys, you get this little port on the bottom here. You would find little portholes in the figure, and you plug in these Cyber Planet keys and it would activate certain play features. Unfortunately, with the age of the Primes and a lot of the more recent Transformers toy lines, any of the Cybertron Transformers they brought over into this universe, they did not incorporate any of those play features, which is very unfortunate because Cybertron toy line was a very, very unique toy line, had a great gimmick to it, and in my honest opinion, a lot of those figures did not need updating. I mean, the original Sideways is actually better than this version of Sideways, and I can say that with a lot of the other Cybertron Universe figures that they brought over to the more recent Generations toy line. If you're wondering what the Generations toy line is, it's anything that's more modern. I think over the last 9 years, or less than 9 years, because you had 3 years of the War for Cybertron, which had the Siege, the Earthrise, and Kingdom toy lines. Then you had 3 years of the Legacy toy line, where it was, I believe, Legacy, Legacy Evolution, and Legacy United. And now you have another 3 years of Age of the Primes, where Age of the Primes is the first leg of that trilogy. And you also have Studio Series and any other exclusives that came out for Hasbro Pulse. But they all pretty much are standardized right now, where the scaling is consistent with each other, and the weaponry is also where the weaponry has become a standardized 5mm pegs, and each of the fists or all the fists are now 5mm portholes, so you can arm any Transformers with any other Transformers weapons, which is really cool. But these Cyberplanet keys are a unique accessory that has a unique little plug right there, so you only find it on various Cybertron Transformers, like right here. The original one where you plug the Cyberplanet key in sideways, it would turn this Autobot symbol to a Decepticon symbol, because the unique feature with this Cyberplanet key is it's the only one that has a Decepticon symbol, because all the other Cyberplanet keys represented the planet that those Transformers were from. And what this did was, Sideways is more of a double agent, where once he plugged his key in, he became his Decepticon moniker, and here you don't really get that play feature because it does not switch over. But I do have my original Cyberplanet key from Sideways on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. And with the Age of the Primes version of the Cyberplanet key, you have that metallic paint detail around the edge here, you have this orange paint detail in the middle here, and you have that mold detail with the Decepticon symbol. Well, with the original Cyberplanet key, it was molded out of a translucent orange plastic. You had some mold detail on the inside of the planet key, where the top here is more of a flat, glossy, transparent plastic. And you had metal paint detail around the edge here. And once you plug this key into Sideways, it activates certain play features, which I do have the original Sideways on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. And I really don't feel like this figure really needed any updating, because in my honest opinion, the original version of Sideways is actually better than the updated version of Sideways. And that's because the play features did not carry over from the original Sideways to the Age of the Primes version of Sideways. Because you take the Cyberplanet key here, you plug it into the port here, and you can see the Autobot symbol convert over to the Decepticon symbol. Just like that, and it locks into place. Another play feature that wasn't really carried over is the shield plugs into Sideways during the transformation. Here, it's actually part of the figure, where you could pop it up while he's in jet mode. So you can actually activate that play feature where not only does it convert the Autobot symbol to the Decepticon symbol, but these orange blades from the side of the shield pop out. Which you do have that play feature here, but everything's manual. Like for this figure here, you have to manually set the Autobot symbol or the Decepticon symbol. It does not pop out or is not activated by the Cyberplanet key, and nor do the orange blades that pop out from the shield here. But nonetheless, it's still a great figure, and it's very, very faithful to the original toy design. Very, very nicely done. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Cyberplanet key, put it off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and push these blades back in. They just go right back into place. See, and this figure's a little old. It just pops right back into place. It goes right down just like that. And unfortunately, you can't do that with this version of the figure. When you compare the two figures side by side, you'll see that there's actually the newer version is pretty inferior to the original version, because you have a lot of paint detail, and paint detail is really nicely done. You have some paint detail here. There's apparently two little cockpits back here. They did mold that detail on this version of Sideways, but there's no paint detail there. So they kind of downsized a little bit, like you don't have that gold paint detail there, where in the original Sideways you do have that. Here you have a mold detail that's very cool, because it's like a translucent cockpit here. So I'm not sure if this whole piece right here is maybe two molds where they molded the cockpit and the windshield as separate plastics, where they kind of popped in the windshield and it came through to the top here, because you see this unique gold paint detail and this translucent orange plastic. I mean, this figure is so nicely done that I really don't feel like it needed to be updated. The jet mode is just fantastic, and that play feature just puts us above this version of Sideways. This version of Sideways is a nice, it's a nice nod to the original, but it's not. It doesn't even hold a candle to the original. It was so well done that I really think if you're gonna pour over a Transformer from a toy line and give them like the modern updates, you need a Transformer that really needed it, like something from Generation 1, because let's be real, with Generation 1 toy line, those Transformers look nothing like the Transformers we saw in the cartoon series. Well, with Cybertron, Takara and Hasbro did such a great job with those figures. The toy represented the actual cartoon model just so faithfully. So I don't really feel that bringing over any of the Unicron trilogy figures, maybe Armada would benefit from the updates with the Generations toy line, but with Energon and Cybertron, it's a hard one because those figures are really well done. And any post Transformers after the Unicron trilogy, like animated, they were very faithful to the animated model from the anime series when they brought over the toys, because the toys were designed first, and the animators just were very faithful to the toy design. And Cybertron was a CGI series where you almost had to, with the scanning technology, stay more faithful to the original source material. But I mean, comparing the two figures side by side, it's a hard one for me, because I would have to say, if you can get your hands on an original Sideways, I'd go more that route. I mean, it's nice that Walmart is bringing over these exclusive Transformers, and you have Excellion and you have this one right here as their exclusive figures. But I mean, they pale in comparison to the originals, because both with Excellion and Sideways, the originals are such fantastic figures. And I kind of wish Hasbro and Takara would stay away from certain figures that do not benefit from the update. I'm going to go ahead and put Sideways, put them off to the side, because I want to go ahead and talk about, the positives of Sideways. This is a cool figure nonetheless. In comparison to the original, he pales. He's not as great as the original figure, but he is a good figure nonetheless. So if you do not own, or you cannot have access to an original Sideways, do pick this version up. He's very, very nicely done. It's just unfortunate they didn't incorporate the play feature. I wish they did something where the key would plug in and change the symbol over, or these blades would pop out. But nonetheless, it's still a great figure. Now that Sideways in his robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, by talking about his sword. And he comes with two of these swords, and according to the instructions, will arm sideways with these swords while he's in his robot mode. Next, bottom of the swords here, it's a little 5mm peg. Top of his fist, you have 5mm porthole. I want to take the first blade and plug it in the top of his fist just like that. I want to go and grab the other blade, and on that blade you also have a 5mm peg. You want to go on the bottom of his fist, you want to go and plug the other handle into the bottom of his fist, and now you have Sideways armed with his sword. Very, very cool. The next accessory I want to go and talk about is his shield. And as I mentioned earlier on, this shield should have been activated by the Cyber Planet key that I talked about earlier. And with the original Sideways, when you plug this key in to the very top, it would change this Autobot symbol to a Decepticon symbol. But for this version of Sideways, you need to turn the shield all the way around. There's a little trigger right here. You pull this trigger down, and it converts the Autobot symbol to a Decepticon symbol. Now I go ahead and show you how it does that. It kind of just flips it like that and like that. And also with the Cyber Planet key, it should activate a play feature where these orange blades pop open this shield. Just like that. But here you have to manually do it because there's no spring-loaded play feature with this version of Sideways. So he's kind of a downgrade compared to the original Sideways. And that's very unfortunate, because when you bring over a toy line that was so unique, that has so many great play features, I mean, you're not doing it justice by bringing it over to the Generations toy line, because you're not incorporating all the play features. And I know with Armada Megatron, which was a great figure for, I believe it was Transformers Legacy Evolution, brought out Armada Megatron. Great figure, but did not incorporate any of the play features that the original Armada Megatron had. And a lot of those Armada or a lot of the Unicron trilogy figures, I mean, some of the Armada figures would benefit from a Generations update, but anything post Unicron trilogy, they did such a great job with being faithful to the anime model from the respective cartoon series that I don't really see any updates being done on those figures, especially with animated, because animated was a very stylized toy line. But getting back to Cybertron, I mean, this figure is a great figure on its own, but in comparison to the original, and that's where I'm kind of like dogging this figure out a little bit, because I mean, he's a great figure, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to the original, he does not hold a candle to that figure. But her arm sideways with this shield, you have this little peg right here. You pop this peg out. Side of his forearm, you have a 5mm porthole. you're gonna plug that shield right into his forearm just like that, and now you have Sideways armed with both of his shield and his sword. Very, very cool. He's still a cool figure nonetheless. And you know, I believe there was another figure from the Cybertron toy line that I did a review for, and I dogged it out when I got into the vehicle portion of that review. But when it came to the robot mode, I kind of see where the updates needed to be done. And the robot mode was fantastic. I believe that might have been for Hotshot, Cybertron Hotshot, or another figure that I reviewed earlier on, where I kind of got down on it about the vehicle mode, because the vehicle mode for the original figure was better and it still had the play features in it. But when it came into the robot mode, I could see why the update needed to be done. But with Sideways, I still hold that same opinion where Sideways did not really need updating. And the weird thing is, the original Sideways in jet mode, I believe, was larger for the original version, but in transformation, for some reason, this version of Sideways ended up being taller. So I don't know if it's some engineering that was done, but I mean, the proportion to me is much better for the original version of Sideways. And the cool thing with this version of Sideways, like I said, it has a play feature with the Cyber Planet key, which is I'm going to show you in a second. But you have the light piping in the face right here. Let me see if I can get him in focus. So you can see the light piping in the head here. And you see a lot of the mold details, much nicer with the original version of Sideways. You get that cockpit detail here, where you get that translucent orange plastic. A lot more paint deco detail. And I don't know, it's just a nicer figure. You got the paint detail on the leg right here, which did not carry over to the Age of the Primes version of Sideways. So a lot of the paint detail was left out, which I'm not sure if it's more based on the animated model, because I am going off the toy and I haven't watched the anime series in a long time. But you got the gold paint deco detail up here. You got gold paint deco detail on top of this orange piece right here. And this piece is molded out of a black plastic, so everything here is all paint deco detail right here. As opposed to the, looks like they did some multi layers here with the molding right here, where you got the translucent orange plastic, then on top of that you have this chest piece that was molded out of a black plastic. But this figure is so well done, and to me it feels like the original Cybertron version of Sideways has better proportions. Like, this one, it's kind of tall and lengthy, and it's out of proportion. I'm not sure if that's a better representation of the animated model for the Cybertron version of Sideways, or because this Sideways here, he looks like a Hulk right here. He's very well proportioned, very strong looking. And like I mentioned earlier on, he's got that unique play feature where if you plug that Cyber Planet key into the shield, it converts the Autobot symbol into a Decepticon symbol, and it pops out these blades, which I think is much nicer on the original version because it's molded out of a translucent orange plastic, so it kind of gives it an Energon feel to it, as opposed to this orange paint detail here, or no, I'm sorry, orange mold detail right here, where it's not bad. It's just the original is just so well done. The original figure is a fantastic figure. He's probably one of the best figures out of that toy. I mean, a lot of those figures of that toy line were fantastic. They did a great job with that whole entire toy line from top to bottom. I don't think there's too many bad figures from that toy line. So, I mean, to update those figures in the Generations toy line would be, it would be almost like effortless, because you don't really have to change that much in the original figure. If anything, you're downgrading it, because like I said, you're not incorporating the play feature with the Cyber Planet keys, where it's just a plug-in detail with the Age of the Primes version of Sideways, and it's just such a great figure. But I'm gonna go ahead and rotate them around so you see all the similarities and differences on your own. I'm hoping Sideways does not fall over, because that'll be a big bummer. But even from the back here, you can see a lot of similarities too. And to me, the original still looks better from front to back. Nice detail. The design element did carry over with the swords, though. You do have to plug the sword in from the top to the bottom. The shield is actually a permanent part of Sideways. Instead of unplugging them and plugging into the forearm, it had this piece here with double hinge joint here that kind of stayed on the arm and carried over. So the shield is a permanent part of Sideways. But nonetheless, I'm going to put this version of Sideways off to the side. And I'm going to talk about the Age of the Primes version of Sideways. Good figure nonetheless, just pales in comparison to the original. A lot of great mold detail, lots of great points of articulation. It's a little bit taller and sleeker than the original, as you saw, but he has lots of points of articulation. He has knee articulation, hip articulation. He goes in and out, up and down. You got the head articulation, goes side to side. It's not a ball socket joint, so it's like limited motion going up and down and all around. You got shoulder articulation, you got bicep swivel, you got the elbow articulation, fist articulation. Figure has lots of articulation, and that's a detail that, you know, that benefits a lot of the Generation 1 toys, because Generation 1 toys had very limited articulation. That's why I'm saying a lot of the post Unicron Trilogy figures do not really benefit from these updates, because, I mean, adding these points of articulation is a big deal when it comes to Generation 1, even Generation 2. Some of the Beast Wars figures did benefit from the updates, but I mean, with Energon and Cybertron animated, or any other post, you know, War for Cybertron trilogy, or not, sorry, any post Unicron trilogy figures just don't really benefit too much from it. And I would more focus their attention on figures that really would benefit from that update. But if you found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Fieldhouse Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.